Wow, guys. Fucking A. That's SmackDown. The SmackDown after WrestleMania for April 10th, 2018. That motherfucker blew me away. That was a shocking SmackDown for one main reason. I'm sure you guys know why. And the main event was my ultimate dream match. My ultimate dream match. Way more than AJ Styles and Shinsuke. Fucking blown away by that. And then on top of that, you have fucking... you have Shinsuke Nakamura. Who would have thought? Everyone who called him bland. Everyone who said Nakamura just doesn't do it for me. Now all of a sudden, this motherfucker's got character. Now all of a sudden, this motherfucker is shining as a heel. It's amazing what just a tweak of your character can do for your career. I promise you, Nakamura now will be hotter than ever going forward. If only Vince would have taken that stock in position with Roman Reigns a long time ago. Roman Reigns, at this point in his career right now, might have been Vince McMahon's top guy. The fans may be absolutely behind Roman Reigns if this had happened to Roman Reigns 2 years ago. He pulled the trigger on Nakamura, and if last night was any indication, it's going to succeed, this heel turn. And Nakamura might become, in the future, one of the biggest stars for Vince McMahon. Especially as his English keeps getting more defined and redefined. And that's going to fucking just make Nakamura even more of that star caliber for Vince McMahon. I'll get to that main event. I'll get to all of that. What I first want to do is start off with the big announcement from Shane McMahon. And that was that his new general manager didn't even know he was going to actually... We thought there was a good possibility last night he could... Or were they going to wait till after the shakeup? And he announces that Paige, who just retired Monday night, is his new general manager for SmackDown. Fucking Paige. You guys, for those of you that watched yesterday's Monday Night Raw review reaction, I left out a big piece of Monday Night Raw, didn't I? On purpose. And that was the Paige retirement speech. And I told you guys in the comments that I'm going to have a separate video later in the week about that. Because I knew they had something big planned for Paige. Paige was not leaving WWE. We just didn't know what exactly it was. But we knew she was going to stay on a roll with WWE. And that's what that separate video was going to be about. I had no indication that she was just going to be announced 24 hours later as the general manager. So there will not be a separate video any longer. But that's the reason I left that out. Because I wasn't buying into the retirement yet. Not only is she general manager, but she is taking the same path as Daniel Bryan. She is going to try in the future to get medically cleared to return to the ring. I'm not saying that's the right move, but that is what she wants to do. And she even admitted that on Monday Night Raw too. It's no secret. She said, thank you to Daniel Bryan for giving me hope. And we all know that that's what she wants to do. She is going to try to get medically cleared. So don't be surprised if you have not seen the last of Paige in the ring competing. But I knew she was coming back, man, in some role. I didn't know if that was going to be an NXT trainer along with Shawn Michaels. Was that going to be a manager? Was she going to take on a creative role backstage? General manager, man. That was the first shocking moment of SmackDown, and it was right at the beginning of the show. Then, a minute after she's introduced as the new general manager, she's announcing the main event of the night is the fucking, what they're calling a fantasy match. It's a legit dream match. AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan for the main event. Blown the fuck away, man. Absolutely blown away. And I know people are like, oh, they're giving it away for free. That could be a pay-per-view match, dream match. After what I saw Sunday at WrestleMania, all the hype for a dream match between Nakamura and AJ Styles, I'm fine with giving me that on TV. Just give me it, because I don't want another fucking big hype build, even though I know AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan can deliver better than any two wrestlers together. Their chemistry will be off the charts. Still, I think for other fans, like, we don't need another dream match hype after what we just saw Sunday. Let's fucking give it to us now, and I love the way they fucking did this match. And just for the record, I think they did this also because I think Daniel Bryan's headed to Raw. I think this is a goodbye to Daniel Bryan. He's headed over to Monday Night Raw. And if that's the case, then I thought this was fucking perfect. Before he goes to Raw, Styles is the champion. He really can't go to Raw, obviously, so he's staying on SmackDown. So before they split for at least the foreseeable future, the next year at least, let's give the fans that match and set up something cool, because they're going to do Nakamura Styles again anyway. We already know that. They have another match that they're working toward. So give us Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles now. Nobody wins, obviously. And I'll get right to the main event, because I'm going to get to the important stuff. Not that that's not important, but I'm going to get to the Carmella, the shocking, just the fucking professional wrestling world, absolutely floored last night from Carmella in the whole Charlotte fucking segment. But I'll get to that. I'm going to get to the main event because I want to get this out of the way first. This main event was about 15 minutes to the live crowd, and because of commercial breaks to the TV crowd, we got about 9 minutes of it. And in that less than 10 minutes, that was a fucking awesome wrestling match. That was, a lot of people this morning are like, oh man, I thought it would be better. And this, guys, they literally, to the TV audience, had about 10 minutes to work with at best. And they went out there, they had their fast pace, they had their high-flying Arsenal aerial assault, and then they had the majority, the ground technician game, who legitimately is the better wrestler. And they rolled around that ring like the two technicians that they are, trying to get supremacy over the other. I love the story being told in just a wrestling format. And they were putting on such a good wrestling match, you got lost in it until Nakamura shows up. Shinsuke slithers into the ring, and he delivers a Kinshasa to Daniel Bryan, the back of his head, by the way. You kind of cringe when you see that. And then he turns to AJ Styles. He gives him a low blow, just like he did Sunday at WrestleMania. And then also delivers a Kinshasa to the face of AJ Styles. So a Kinshasa to the back of the head of Daniel Bryan, a Kinshasa to the face of AJ Styles. Both are knocked out, but Nakamura is not finished. He sets up AJ Styles one more time, and he delivers another low blow to AJ Styles. Insult to injury. At this point, middle of the ring, Nakamura staring out like the fucking dastardly villain that he is now, and the rain of boos are storming down on him. Fucking awesome. This is a decision Vince McMahon made that ended up being the correct one. When it was first made, I'm thinking to myself, Nakamura as a heel? Can this really work? I have my hesitations and reservations on this, man. And let me tell you this. It's working more beautifully than probably even Vince thought it was. The rain of boos storming down on him was flawless and epic. He goes up the rampway. He turns one last time to look back toward the ring where he left his carnage, Daniel Bryan and Styles, and he's got this look on his face, and the boos are so loud. We fade to black. SmackDown goes off the air. Brilliant! We got a glimpse of Styles and Daniel Bryan, so they showed you right there. Nobody won the match. It was interfered by Shinsuke. In the 10 minutes that they were working with was beautiful. They were so into it, and they were matching each other move for move, step for step, motion for motion. Styles was keeping up with Bryan, Bryan with Styles. I was loving it. You got lost in it, and then all of a sudden Nakamura interferes. It's perfect storytelling, and this sets up not only better storytelling for Nakamura Styles for the imminent future, but long-term, in the future, if you want to set up a big pay-per-view match between Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles, you now have a plethora of reasons why people need to see this. Because in the small glimpse that we got last night, it shows you just a glimpse of what they can do in 10 minutes. Imagine if they gave them 30 minutes, dare I say 40. Would they put them in a 60-minute Iron Man match? Because that was only 10 minutes. That gets me fucking goosebumps and excited thinking about what they can do at a pay-per-view match. So I'm glad they put them in the ring just to show everybody before Daniel Bryan takes off to Raw what they can do. What to look forward to one day in the future. And now you can legitimately say it's a dream match. But that was fucking, man, I can't say enough about what I saw in just those 10 minutes, man. That's what I knew we could see. Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles, man. And you could set that up, and now you have something to work with, too. The first time they met, there was no winner. There needs to be a decisive winner. You can also add that to the story now. Because we just saw, like, when you build up just a dream match with no real fucking defining story behind it, Nakamura and Styles, I felt those were two superstars that didn't need a defining story. And I still believe that. For some reason, Sunday, they didn't deliver. I still don't know the real reason. They could have been told to tone it down for Lesnar and Reigns. Or what I feel is maybe AJ Styles didn't want to go full throttle and blow out his fucking leg injury that he supposedly had. And then last night, he knew fucking it was only going to be about 10 to 15 minutes for the live crowd, 10 minutes for the TV crowd. And that's maybe why there was a lot more ring technician type wrestling, right? And not as much high flying, not as crazy amount of fast paced. I really do think AJ Styles is still nursing some type of injury. That goes to show you what it could be when he's fully 100% if that's the case against Daniel Bryan or Shinsuke Nakamura. So what I'm saying, guys, is not only am I okay with Bryan and Styles last night as just a tease to what's to come at a pay-per-view in the future, but I'm more than okay with it because that was fucking awesome. That was a main event, and I love the interfering ending. I love Nakamura coming in and literally being the fucking villain, the bad guy, the, dare I say the word, Vince, the heel that you made him. He is actually playing that part fucking awesome. He had a backstage promo last night where Renee Young was like, why did you do this to AJ Styles at WrestleMania? And AJ Styles, and then Shinsuke was like, you're right, I'm sorry. And Renee Young was like, she's like, Shinsuke, you're being real disingenuous right now. And Shinsuke's like, no speak English. I loved it, man. Everything about Nakamura, from the promo to his dastardly deeds in the ring, screams villain, screams bad guy, screams heel, screams I want to boo this motherfucker. So good to see Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles last night, and in the future, I now want to see that even more than I originally did. Fucking awesome. So, no, I'm okay with that. More than okay. Glad I saw it, and this is going to do even more for their future pay-per-view. So this was actually a great call, especially if Daniel Bryan is definitely going over to Raw. Then Vince wanted to give us a little bit of that before they're totally separated. I love it. Before I get to the real shit, man, and you guys know what I'm talking about, Carmella, what the fuck just happened last night? I want to get to some of the filler shit. It was a couple of, just rehash matches we've seen a million times. New Day versus the Usos, we've seen it 167 times. We'll make that 168 times last night. Obviously, it was a good match because I don't think they can put on a bad match. Except for WrestleMania. That triple threat with the Bludgeon Brothers was just hideous. But I think they just were dealing with time constraints. The Bludgeon Brothers were in the mix. I don't think the Usos and the New Day could really do what they usually do. The Usos ended up beating the New Day. This is significant because this means the Usos are going on to take on the Bludgeon Brothers. That was a #1 contenders match. Does this mean the New Day is going back to Monday Night Raw? Quite possibly. I don't see any other business that they've left on the table on SmackDown. They've done everything they could. They put over who they could. You know, they've done the same on Raw too, though, so who knows what happens to the New Day from here. But the Usos are the ones going on to take on the Bludgeon Brothers. Also, guys, Natty took on Naomi for the 121st time. Naomi picks up a big win over Natty. And this is huge because Naomi is finally getting, my girl Naomi, man, finally is getting that momentum back. She's getting that swag back. The big win at the Battle Royal at WrestleMania, and then she beats Natty last night. Does she go over to Monday Night Raw? That would be cool as well. But wherever she ends up, I want Naomi to keep up on this streak, on this momentum. Because she is absolutely fucking badass right now. She's got her mojo back. Not Mojo Rawley. She doesn't want anything to do with that mojo. She wants the mojo. But then again, if she goes to Raw, then her little husband there fucking is over on SmackDown, right? Because he's going for the championship, the tag straps. Would they split up the couples? It's not the first time Vince would do it, but awesome to see Naomi doing that, and the Usos pick up the win over the New Day. So those are a couple of matches that are just been rehashed. Also, there was a United States triple threat not championship match, triple threat number one contenders match for Jinder Mahal's United States Championship. And I believe this is going to be Backlash. I'm getting confused lately, guys, because you have this greatest Royal Rumble ever, April 27th, which is both brands. And then on top of that, you have Backlash coming up. So wait, no, Backlash is Monday Night Raw. What the fuck am I saying? So the next SmackDown pay-per-view, right? I don't think... There's so many fucking events. You guys know what I'm saying, man. I believe it's the next SmackDown pay-per-view. Or maybe they will do it at the greatest Royal Rumble ever. Maybe that's where it's going to be. Whatever the fuck it is, Randy Orton taking on Bobby Roode, taking on Rusev. Triple threat. And it was Randy Orton that got the win here, much to the dismay of the Rusev Day crowd. Rusev continues the actual burial assault. I'm hearing rumors that there's going to be a casket match at the greatest Royal Rumble ever, Rusev versus The Undertaker, in a casket match. Now, if this is the fucking case, that's fucking insane, but it makes sense because this would be the actual burial of Rusev. If The Undertaker and Rusev, if that rumor is true and they are actually going to be taking on each other in a casket match at the greatest Royal Rumble ever, April 27th, then not only is Rusev being buried on TV, week to week, month to month, year to year, but he's actually literally going to be buried alive, or at least put in the casket, right? And when you think the casket, you're thinking buried, so the only thing closer to buried alive, aside from the casket, would actually be a buried alive match, which they did used to have back in the day. You can Google that shit, YouTube that shit. I used to like those buried alive matches. They caught a lot of flack. A lot of people didn't like them. I fucking love that gimmick. But either way, Rusev looks like he's going to win again. And then, no, man, Randy Orton just takes him out. RKO's Bobby Roode. Randy Orton gets the win. This means we're going to see Randy Orton versus Jinder Mahal again. I'm good with it because you guys know I'm a big Jinder Mahal fan. And I actually didn't mind the Randy Orton-Jinder Mahal matchups. I know, guys, a lot of you guys didn't like it. A lot of you guys don't like Jinder Mahal. You did not like anything to do with the Randy Orton-Jinder Mahal story or feud. You've seen them too many times. You're bored with it. I'm going to save your guys the typing. I understand. But you guys know where I stand with this. I'm a Jinder Mahal fan. It's good to see him with that championship. I'll be the first to admit, after WrestleMania's loss by Rusev and Jinder Mahal got that championship, I really felt they needed to start building up Rusev. And I feel Rusev is the one to take the strap off of Jinder Mahal, but not until SummerSlam. So I absolutely am behind Rusev for that. For some reason, they keep digging this guy lower and lower. And now it looks like Randy Orton's going to get the first crack at it. But I fully believe this is just the first crack at it, guys. I think Jinder Mahal is going to take care of Randy Orton. This is just a filler. And maybe Rusev does make it to SummerSlam. But if that's the case, you cannot bury him anymore. He's got to start winning week to week. Build up Rusev. So when Rusev gets the championship from Mahal at SummerSlam, the man is going to make that title, not the other way around. The title won't make the man. You've already built up the man. So now that man, Rusev, is going to take the title. Hope that makes sense. But that's all contingent upon Vince McMahon actually giving Rusev the chance. It's pretty clear he doesn't really care for Sasha Banks or Rusev. It's mind-boggling to me because you have two people in Sasha Banks and Rusev that can make you so much money, that have a big fan base behind both of them, and Vince just doesn't want to tap into them. Again, mind-boggling. Randy Orton wins the match. He'll be going on to take on Jinder Mahal at one of the next big fucking events. Let me correct myself because isn't it dual branded anyway? So I believe it would be Backlash. Yeah, I mean, it is Raw branded, but it's also SmackDown branded. I think they're all dual branded going forward. I think you're going to see matches from both Raw and SmackDown. So it would be Orton versus Mahal at Backlash. So correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't that Didn't they face each other in 2017 last year at Backlash? Orton versus Mahal, but that was for the WWE Heavyweight Championship. Isn't that where Jinder Mahal captured the Heavyweight Championship from Jinder Mahal? I mean, Jinder Mahal from Jinder Mahal. Jinder Mahal captured it from Randy Orton. Isn't that where he... I gotta fucking look it up. But I think they fought each other at Backlash, man, because Orton had the title after WrestleMania 33, and then it was Mahal to take it from him at the very next. So talk about a full year, man. A whole year cycle, and now here they are for the United States Championship. I don't know, I just find that ironic. Anyway, to the topic at hand, man. This shocks the professional wrestling world, man. There's no way to say that it didn't. Charlotte, because everything about this is shocking. Charlotte on Sunday night took out a streak that was in place from October of 2015. A streak that had one woman that just did not get beat, pinned, or submit at all in 3 years almost. Almost 32 months. And that streak came to an end Sunday night against Charlotte. But there wasn't huge outrage because it was Charlotte. We all can agree she is one of, if not the best in the business. It's fucking Charlotte. Not just her skills, her selling, her promo work. She's a complete package. So that's why there wasn't huge outcry. There was outcry, there was displeasure, there was people not pleased. There's people that think it was the dumb idea and it sucked. But it's Charlotte. It's believable as fuck. So you go 2 nights later and she's in the ring and she's thanking Asuka for taking her to the limit. And she's talking about who's next. And you're thinking Backlash. And you're thinking she's just going to have a promo because she just had this dream match 2 nights earlier at WrestleMania. SummerSlam. At WrestleMania, this dream match, here we are 2 nights later, they're just going to give Charlotte the night off. Give her a little promo, right? Thank Asuka. And all of a sudden, the fucking iconic duo finally get called up. We've been thinking this was going to happen since after Royal Rumble. Here we are after WrestleMania, and they're finally called up. Billie Kay, Peyton, Royce. I know a lot of you guys don't actually follow NXT. A big reason why I don't do NXT reviews. There's not a big enough fan base yet for that. But they are talent from NXT. At first, they were really, really green. I wanted nothing to do with them. When they first got to NXT, I was like, this is not the replacement for Sasha, Charlotte, Becky, Bayley. Those first original NXT females, man. This is who you have now, Billie Kay. And I was just turned off by them. What happened on NXT as the weeks went by, as the months went by, is they formed this unit that was actually gaining momentum and they were getting better on their mic work. They were feeling more comfortable and confident. Their ring skills started getting extremely better. And before you know it, 2 women that I wanted nothing to do with, Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, I actually became somewhat fans of them. Somewhat. Not exactly. But then they debuted last night. And let me tell you, wham, I instantly became Peyton Royce and Billie Kay, a fan of theirs both. Together, they are fucking, not to steal AJ's word, but they are phenomenal together. And they get in the ring and the confidence they have. Your first night on the job, you're going to be scared a little. The confidence is going to be shook. You're going to be stuttering a little bit, right? Your promo is not going to be flawless. No, they were flawless. And Peyton Royce started just mocking Charlotte. Billie Kay worked off of Peyton Royce. And before you knew it, everything was so realistic. Billie Kay, I think it was, or as Peyton Royce is still talking, I think it was Billie Kay who went behind Charlotte. So they're doing this like a mugging. Like one person is going to talk sweet to your face. Or not sweet, I mean she was mocking her. But one person is going to talk to your face. But her partner's going to come behind you and fucking nail you. And Charlotte, it was all so realistic. And you guys know, the thing I love most about Sasha Banks and Charlotte, forget ring skills and everything else. I don't care about promos or anything else with Sasha and Charlotte. It's their believability. When they lose a match, they actually cry. You know why? Because they're that invested into their match. This business means that much to them. Watch Charlotte. She's crying at every step of the way. Every turn, every corner. You can see Charlotte crying. Or Sasha Banks is in tears every time a big moment happens. A big victory or a big loss. They love this business. It's who they are. That's why I love Sasha and Charlotte. So their believability in their mannerisms and their facial expressions alone, in their movements, I just fucking love it, man. And you see Charlotte staring at Peyton as Peyton is talking to Charlotte, but Charlotte notices Billie Kay. And there's this instant look of panic. You can't teach this. Because it's planned, right, BC? It's choreographed. So you would have to just be an immaculate actress, right? But there's just one problem. Charlotte was never an actress. No, this is just her making you believe that this shit's going down for real. That's what I love. So she knows it's coming, right? But the instant look of panic just makes you suspend that reality and believe in what you are watching now. I loved it. Billie Kay's going around, and the look on Billie Kay's face is like, I'm gonna nail this motherfucker. Like, I'm gonna pop this bitch. And Charlotte has this look of panic, and she fucking turns around to elbow Billie Kay in the face and instantly turn to Peyton Royce and try to throw a bow at her. But by the time she did that, Billie Kay was back on Charlotte. And before you knew it, man, you saw that the panic was still there with Charlotte. She's trying to rip off her robe and take her title off because she knows she's about to get fucking jacked up. But Billie Kay and Peyton Royce are too fucking much. And she's trying to get her shit off, and it's to no avail, and she finally succumbs to the beating. And it's Billie Kay and Peyton Royce to rip the robe off of Charlotte. In a beatdown that goes to the outside, they pick her up for this backdrop, and they land Charlotte flat. First of all, they threw Charlotte into the ring steps, and Charlotte sold this arm injury like a true champ that she is. Then Billie Kay and Peyton Royce picked her up for this backdrop, literally on the mat outside. You heard the thud of Charlotte's back. In the way that Charlotte sold this motherfucker, that is why Charlotte is as great as she is. The promos that she cuts, amazing, immaculate. Her ring skills, second to none, you could say. And then you look at just the way she sells when she's taking a fucking beating. What makes Charlotte so great? When she's not even performing a maneuver, when she's just taking an ass kicking. She is selling like a fucking consummate professional champion. Like I always tell you guys, Brock Lesnar sells. Brock Lesnar sells a move like he's fucking dying. Charlotte's agony in her screaming, the agony in her motions and movements, the physicality and brutality that Peyton Royce and Billie Kay brought to Charlotte and the way Charlotte was fucking screaming out in that agony. Man, you felt for her. You wanted somebody, anybody, come down and save Charlotte. You suspended reality and you were invested in that motherfucker. That is why people are okay with the streak ending. And everyone says, that's all Asuka had was a streak. This is stupid. No, you are for thinking Asuka only had a streak. And that's why Asuka is relevant. Then you don't know anything about Asuka. Asuka has more than just a streak. She's badass. And she'll only get better. A streak never defined Asuka. That was just something that she had on her shoulders. Some would say was weighing her down, but that's something she had on her shoulders from her success. But you think she just goes in there and defeats at WrestleMania Charlotte like Charlotte's nothing? Charlotte already had her time? No, Charlotte, this isn't a participation trophy federation. Everybody doesn't get a fucking chance on the merry-go-round, and everybody just doesn't get the championship, even though that's what it seems like these days. But no, the best, the cream still always has to rise to the top. Charlotte belongs there for years to come. Shit, she's not even my favorite fucking female wrestler. You guys know that, man. There's a long line before Charlotte. It goes Sasha Banks, Ember Moon, Naomi. So for me to speak this passionately about somebody that I'm not even a huge fan of, goes to show you how fucking amazing she is. Anyway, I'll move on with this. So she's selling the fuck out of this beating. You literally think she's fucking dying at one point. And Billie Kay and Peyton Royce finally, after officials enter the ring, like 3 or 4 of them, they finally leave the ring and they head up the rampway, and then all of a sudden, F-A-B-U, however the fuck you want to spell this motherfucker, Carmella actually fucking, her music blasts, and you're thinking, no fucking way. Because the beating was so badass, I forgot about Carmella for a second, and the crowd was actually chanting Carmella for a moment. But like, you didn't really think that was gonna happen. She just beat Asuka 2 days before. Carmella isn't actually gonna show up, but you heard the music. You see Carmella running down to the ring, and she grabs Mike Chioda, almost rips his fucking shirt off, throws him into the ring, and you're thinking, it's gotta be a tease. There's no fucking way. Naomi will come down, and Naomi's momentum will continue, right? And they'll set up a Carmella-Naomi feud. Who knows? But she's not cashing in. And then Mike Chioda sells it even more. So I'm thinking she's definitely not cashing in, because Mike Chioda forgets what he's even fucking doing in the ring. He doesn't even know what a Money in the Bank briefcase even is. If you go back and what Mike Chioda's like, what are you doing? Carmella's like, I'm cashing in. He's like, you're cashing who? No, I'm cashing in. I'm cashing the briefcase. What's in the briefcase? No, it's my contract, motherfucker. I want to cash it in. I want to take Charlotte's title. Wait, what? The briefcase. I want to cash it in, Mike Chioda. And Mike Chioda's looking at her like, this? Yes, Mike Chioda. It's a contract. How do you not know this? And Mike Chioda's like, tonight? No, next Christmas. Fuck. Yes, now. And Mike Chioda's like, okay, wait, what is this? Mike Chioda didn't know what the fuck it even was. I don't know what that was about, man. Maybe Vince was in his ear being like, delay it, hold on, wait. That was awkward as fuck. Finally, Mike Chioda understands what is happening. Oh, the Money in the Bank brief, you're the winner of that? Okay. And he fucking tells the ring announcer, and now the ring announcer's announcing it. That's when it gets more serious. That's when it says, Carmella is cashing in her Money in the Bank briefcase. Now it's serious, because there's only one more thing left to be done before this shit is legit, before shit hits the fan, and before shit just got real. And that one thing left to do is to actually ring the bell. So the announcement was made, and you're like, no, there's no, hold on now, fucking something's gotta, and Mike Chioda raises his fucking hand like he's about to, and I'm like, hold on there, motherfucker, and he goes to ring it, but he pulls it back, and I'm like, I knew it. But then he goes to do it again, and I'm like, whoa, motherfucker, and he fucking rings that shit! And you're like, whoa, what the fuck? So now you're thinking, wow, it's happening! She's failing tonight. There's no way she's gonna win it, obviously. So she's failing. So it's like, okay, so Charlotte is gonna get the shit kicked out of her, and then she's gonna win. She's gonna take out fucking Carmella, and then Carmella is obviously gonna have to go to Raw now and try to make a name for herself. Makes sense. The bell's rung. Carmella gives Charlotte a kick to the side of the head. Charlotte drops like a ton of bricks. Carmella jumps on her. Chioda counts 1, he then counts 2, and to the shock of the professional wrestling world, he counted the 3. He rings the bell, and it is announced that there is a new women's champion, and her name is Carmella. It will go down in history as a successful cash-in. 2 nights after ending Asuka's undefeated streak at WrestleMania, Charlotte, the Queen, is dethroned by the Princess. And that is a goodbye to Charlotte. Goodbye to Charlotte, at least from SmackDown. You have to believe this was to boot her over to Raw for some reason. To set up Rousey and Charlotte? I don't even think they're going to wait till WrestleMania 35 now. Everyone thought that's going to be the main event of WrestleMania 35. Charlotte and Ronda. Originally, we thought Asuka and Ronda. Now we're thinking Charlotte and Ronda. But do they fast-track that to SummerSlam? Or is that going to be the start of it in a few months, and that leads all the way to Summer? Who the fuck knows? But this has to be goodbye to Charlotte for SmackDown. Or maybe Charlotte just wants some time off. After WrestleMania, sometimes competitors ask for time off. This could be Charlotte doing that. Is this goodbye to Charlotte for the time being from both brands and she's just taking time off? Is this goodbye to Charlotte from SmackDown? The last time you see Charlotte on SmackDown. Is this not a goodbye at all to Charlotte and she stays on SmackDown and she's going to get that title right back at Backlash? So all of this was just to hot potato it for 1 month. That's anything's a possibility. I have to believe this is goodbye to Charlotte for SmackDown. Charlotte's going to fly over to Monday Night Raw. I have to believe that. There's no other reason you would take the strap like that 2 days after ending Asuka's streak, right? Unless, I mean, you better have a damn good reason. You have to have a damn good reason. No matter the reason, everything was beautiful in that whole segment. That is why I am a professional wrestling fan. To just suspend that reality and believe in what the fuck I am watching. And the women went out there, Billie Kay, Peyton, Royce, in their fucking debut. Awesome job, ladies. Charlotte, Carmella, they all went out there and they stole the fucking show. And that's saying something, because this was a show with Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles. Granted, they only had 10 minutes, but in that 10 minutes, they fucked shit up. And possibly even an AJ Styles injury still that he's trying to work through. 10 minutes and an injury, and Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles still went out there and delivered a 10-minute fucking badass match that I look forward to seeing more. But it was Carmella, Charlotte, Billie Kay, Peyton Royce that stole that fucking show easily. And that moment when Carmella's music hit to the moment Carmella fucking cashed in and successfully. And some people are like, oh, you can't have the first ever women's Money in the Bank winner actually fail. Are you kidding me? The fuck you can't. You sure hell can. Yes, you can. It'll make the second Money in the Bank women's winner that much more needing to win. Because the pressure's on even more. The story could be told epically. And let's be honest, it's Carmella. I'm sure nobody would lose sleep if Carmella didn't cash in successfully. And I swear, if she shows up next Tuesday and she's delivering a promo and that crowd's yelling, you deserve it, I'm putting my head through a cement wall. We all like Carmella. I don't think there's anybody to say a bad word about Carmella. She is a sweet lady. She's awesome, man. But, you deserve it? You just chanted that to Nia Jax. And let's be honest, no she doesn't. Carmella, who doesn't deserve it? If Lana wins it next week, does Lana deserve it too? So, congratulations to Carmella. Awesome shit, man. What a moment. We still have to let this shake out. I'm feeling some type of fucking way about this. Charlotte defeats Asuka. 2 nights later, Carmella's beating her for the championship. WWE's got me all sorts of fucked up. I want to totally fucking annihilate this shit, but on the other hand, I think it's brilliant. And I'm invested into what happens next, and it's intriguing, and it's actually fun and entertaining. But it also, I don't know if it all makes sense, but that's kind of what's intriguing about it. I'm getting pulled all sorts of ways, guys. I know you guys have all sorts of opinions. Let me know down below if you loved it or hated it. I don't know yet. I don't think I'm going to be totally able to give you guys an all-out opinion on this until after the shakeup. Once we get more answers to our questions, then we can take a look back and go, why the fuck was that done? Or this makes 0 sense. We have to wait until after the shakeup. Maybe they have something drastically planned. I honestly think Vince McMahon is literally shaking up the entire professional wrestling world. Or the WWE, I should say, which is the biggest chunk of the professional wrestling world. I think he's literally going to floor everybody to the ground. Nobody's safe. I think this is going to be the shakeup of the fucking ages. I think people are going every which way. And I think a lot of things are going to be a lot more clearer after next week. But I cannot entirely shit on something that was actually fun as fuck, man. Like, that was entertaining. The look after Carmella wins that championship strap and Charlotte is like still injured, but she's looking over like not only is she hurt, she's saddened, depressed, distraught. looking out at Carmella, because Carmella's up the rampway, and Charlotte is just kind of sitting up in the ring. And she's like, you motherfucker. And she's actually got this grin on her face now, like, you motherfucker. You fucking got me at my worst time. You know, epically done. And Carmella's doing the crying thing, and Carmella comes back to the ring. She's up on the rampway. She could have easily just left. She comes back to the ring, gets on the apron. You can tell Charlotte's pissed off. Charlotte wants to get back in there. Charlotte. Guys, I'm sorry, man. Carmella wants to get back in there. Charlotte's already fucking on the mat still. She's still on her ass. She's in pain. She's distraught. But she's got this grin like, you motherfucker, you got me at my worst. That's not yours. She's even screaming, that's not yours. And Carmella's screaming, this is mine. It's mine. And Carmella's actually getting pissed. Carmella goes to go back into the ring. The referees cut her off. They're like, go. That's it. You've done enough. So it's that sense of realism even more. Even after Carmella got it, Carmella's still talking shit. And isn't that her character? And she cut a promo afterwards, a couple of segments later, and she was she was bragging to the point of no end. And she started to tear up, fake tears like Charlotte would do, so she was mocking Charlotte. And she said, I want to thank one special person. She's like, me! Ha ha ha! And she fucking played off that, just the person you love to hate because they're so conceited and always bragging about themselves. You know, that person you just despise, man. I love it. Sometimes it's fun to be that person too, by the way. But that's why that Charlotte, Carmella, that Carmella character, that heel Carmella character, that's why it's so badass. Because she could play it up on the mic. On the mic, she is actually really good. She was the mouthpiece for Enzo and Cass down in NXT for a long time, alongside Enzo. It wasn't just Enzo. When Carmella had a chance to speak, Carmella would light that mic up down in NXT. And I don't feel that she's had the biggest chance to shine on the microphone since she's been on the main roster. Maybe she gets more time now. But, wow, man. Even after the match, they continued to sell epically. The moment was drawn out. They gave this segment ample time. This was the centerpiece, the focal point of SmackDown. If it seems like I'm really passionate about this segment, I really am, because these are there was moments in this SmackDown. These are the reasons I'm a pro wrestling fan. The huge announcement of Paige coming down as GM, which, by the way, I feel is an awesome candidate for that and eventual choice for SmackDown and for Shane McMahon to choose. We were talking about like somebody like AJ Lee would be perfect for it. We knew it probably wouldn't happen, not yet anyway, but we felt somebody like that. Well, how about Paige? Pretty damn fucking good. So to start off SmackDown like that, to know that we're getting Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles as a main event, to go out there for only 10 minutes TV time and actually deliver a kick-ass main event like Bryan and AJ Styles and make us invested to see them in the future. That moment, and seeing Nakamura, a true fucking heel, was created and born at WrestleMania, and we saw it in the most epic form last night on SmackDown. And to have SmackDown go off the air with two of your top faces down and out in this new villain that was created just this past weekend, this new villain getting all these boos, and we fade to black and go off the air. That is a moment that makes me a pro wrestling fan. And that women's segment, how well it was played out, how drawn out it was, and how shocking it was, how entertaining, and how meaningful for the future, is why I'm a pro wrestling fan, dude. SmackDown, even with the rehashed matches, Usos, New Day, Naomi, Natty, and the triple threat schmaz, even with all that, man, that SmackDown, I couldn't be more proud of it. Those moments mean more to me than just throwing all of this talent out there like they did Monday night. Lashley, Hardy, Samoa Joe, my girl Ember Moon, who I love, but she could have, they could have had something bigger and better for her. Authors of Pain, they just kind of threw them out there with Heath Slater and Rhino. They could have had something better. This means more to me. That's why I feel SmackDown stole the week. SmackDown beat Raw this week. There's no doubt about it in my mind. Because there was so much unbelievable, shocking shit, man. Iconic is what we'll call it. An iconic SmackDown, man. And again, a lot of people are not happy at all with this. She just beat Asuka. I understand, guys. I totally get it. I'm not saying I'm fully on board with it either. But we can all admit that was amazingly entertaining, shocking, and fucking... We got to see where it ends up. You have to believe this is goodbye to Charlotte for SmackDown, and she's going to show up on Raw, and she couldn't show up there with the championship, so they had to drop it. So your thing is, well, then couldn't have Carmella just showed up at WrestleMania and then beat Charlotte, and that way Asuka never was pinned or submitted? Yeah, but she still would have lost the match. Asuka still would have lost. Now, you could go on. You can no longer say she's undefeated because that would turn into a triple threat rules match. We saw that at WrestleMania 31 when Seth Rollins cashed in. The referee did announce that as a triple threat match. That's what it automatically becomes. So technically, Asuka would be beaten. It's a triple threat. Now, you could go on with an asterisk. You could go on and say she's never been pinned or submitted, but now it gets complicated. She's never been beaten... Well, she's never been pinned or submitted. She's been beaten because she was in a triple threat, but she's never been pinned or submitted. It's an asterisk, guys. You have to explain it going forward. You don't want to do that. So I think Vince McMahon, that's a headache that he didn't want. So why not have this dream match end in a really damn good match? Some people say stole the show. I think it was the Rousey match. But that match was definitely number 2 for me on WrestleMania. Why not let them go out there, have the dream match everybody wants to see, have a shocking moment at the end. At the end, they shake hands, they embrace in a hug and tears. It's one of those WrestleMania moments for the ages. And then you have Charlotte go do the deed on Tuesday. So I'm just saying, for those people that are just like, WrestleMania should have been the one, don't fool yourself. Asuka, it still would have been triple threat. She would have been beaten technically. She just wouldn't have been submitted or pinned if Carmella beat Charlotte. And guys, how the fuck do you explain that going forward? You can't really say she's unbeaten anymore. Now you have to say she's never been pinned or submitted. It's a headache. I don't blame Vince if he wanted to go this route. And again, I think Asuka's going to be just fucking fine. It was now or it was SummerSlam. Or at the most, next year's WrestleMania. So what do you have? You just have Asuka beat every single motherfucker, man. Nobody can beat her. She's got to beat Sasha Banks every fucking time. Charlotte every time. Ember Moon every time. Everybody she faces every fucking time. Nah, man. Undertaker's streak was only WrestleMania, guys. That's why you could do that for years and years. If he had a streak every fucking week on Raw, I mean, eventually you got to be beat. Unless you're so fucking epically good. Like, I love Asuka. You guys know that. There's women that are better than her. Charlotte is better. I feel Sasha Banks is better. Well, there's no fucking doubt, actually. Asuka, as much as I love her, she's got the strong style. It's what she's got. But there's women that are going to blow it. Watch what Ember Moon does on that roster, guys. Watch what she does in that ring. Tell me Asuka, you could say they're equal. You can't tell me Asuka's better than Ember Moon. What the fuck are you talking about? I would love... No. And don't forget, I studied these females, man, even before NXT. Before NXT, that's right. A lot of you guys that didn't see them or saw them on NXT, or didn't see them on NXT, and you think, oh, they just debuted on NXT. No. They were around before NXT. They were on the independents. Asuka was over in Japan, obviously. But Ember Moon wasn't always named Ember Moon. She was on the independents, somebody totally different. I studied these females, man. I can tell you there's more deserving streak participants. Asuka was very fortunate that they put that much stock into her. But Asuka's got a lot of other things going for her. She doesn't just need a streak. And there's some people that are like, oh, she only had the streak. They take that away from her. Asuka's got nothing now. She'll just be one of the females. Well, she is one of the females. There's no reason Sasha Banks should be lost in the middle of the fucking shuffle or Ember Moon because you want Asuka to be this, like, fucking superhero for the ages. And again, if you watch this channel religiously from day one, I love Asuka. Love her. And she's damn good in that ring. And at times, great in that ring. She don't need no fucking man. Charlotte Flair was so deserving of that victory Sunday. And I'm damn proud of her. And I'm interested to see where this cash-in leads to, man. 287 days after she wins the briefcase, Carmella cashed in. I'm not going to totally shit on this yet. I want to see what happens on this shakeup. I think the whole WWE as we know it is going to be flipped upside down. Shit's going to hit the fan. it's either going to be really good decisions being made or fucking the craziest unorthodox decisions, and we're just going to have to see where it all shakes out. Literally. Shakes out and shakes up. That was SmackDown. I can't say how fucking pleased I was of it, how shocked I was, how still confused this morning I am. Confused by it all. But it's not like a pissed off confused. It's a, where the fuck do we go from here confused. I'm actually looking forward to Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. And usually at this time after WrestleMania, I'm kind of burnt out. Usually I'm kind of like, fuck man, I need a little break. No man, I'm ready to keep this train rolling. Let's lead this motherfucker to Brooklyn, New York City, motherfuckers. Amplified man will be there for sure. That's it, guys. One last note I do want to say, Brock Lesnar, everyone's talked about, oh, he re-signed with WWE. Not to toot my own horn, but toot, I was one of the first ones, if not the first, to tell you guys, moments after the announcement was made by WWE on social media, literally like a half an hour later or some shit, I was coming and telling you guys, I'm hearing it's only a 30-day extension to drop the strap over to Roman Reigns. So I don't even know if he's going to be able to make it to a Bobby Lashley match, which everybody thinks is going to happen at SummerSlam. Could still happen. He could sign a long-term contract, but I'm hearing it's only an extension. And rumor has it in the last 24 hours, that has picked up even more by dirt sheets and by other reputable sources. They are now also saying that this could be a short-term contract just to hand the belt over. But let's not kid ourselves. The Amplified man was 24 hours before you dirt sheets, before you reputable sources. My little birdies in my ear down in Orlando, they tell me some awesome shit, and this is a little fucking nugget I felt I needed to share with the world. And sure enough, it looks to be fucking true. Holla at your boy. I don't bullshit on this channel. I said it was a 30-day extension, and damn it, as of now, I'm correct. Could WWE sign him long term? Absolutely. But the original deal is a 30-day extension, and we fully believe this is to give the belt over to Roman Reigns. I'm the Amplified man, and I'm cashing the fuck out. Not cashing in like Carmella did. She went and got gold. I'm just cashing in for a fucking coffee over at Starbucks. But Carmella got the ultimate cash in. Congratulations to her. I'm confused, but I'm shocked. I was entertained. What a SmackDown, man. It was iconic. Whether you loved it or hated it, let me know down below. Amplified man, as I said, I'm cashing out, just not like Carmella. Be motherfucking C. I'll check you guys tomorrow for my favorite day of the week, my favorite video of the week, Amplified Q&A. If you got a question for me, you know the deal. Twitter, at BC Amplified. Drop that question, and I can't get to all of them, obviously, but I'll try to get to a lot of them. Be motherfucking C. Check you.